Hare Krishna and welcome back to You're Not That Body. My name is Vraja Valasani Devidasi and today I'm going to share with you, based on our topic of You're Not That Body, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 25, Text 34. And just before we start, just a little bit of kirtan and we ask our spiritual masters for their blessings. So just a little bit of the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, we'll just start off with the Sanskrit, and as I said, it's Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 25, Text 34. Ihaja santamatmanam vidhamana tataparam vinayam niyamita vira purishanam atmana. And the translation to this: O great hero, we only know that we are existing in this place. We do not understand what will come after. Indeed, we are so foolish that we do not care to understand who has created this beautiful place for our residence. The purport is by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. This lack of Krishna consciousness is called ignorance. Everyone is born ignorant. The Bhagavatam says that we are all born ignorant within this material world. And in our ignorance, we may create nationalism, philanthropy, internationalism, science, philosophy, and so many other things. The basic principle behind all of these is ignorance. What then is the value of all this advancement in knowledge if the basic principle is ignorance? Unless a person comes to Krishna consciousness, all of his activities are defeated. This human form of life is especially meant to dissipate ignorance, but without understanding how to dissipate ignorance, people are planning and building many things. After death, however, all of this is finished. So with that internationalism, this is my realizations from this text. Internationalisms to me is race. So if you're Australian or American or English or Indian or Spanish, wherever it may be. And really we have spoken about this a few times now, where we are not this body. It doesn't matter what our skin looks on the outside or where we're born. We're not this body, we're spirit soul. So that's coming towards this again. And of course the theme for this verse is ignorance. And a lot of problems stem from ignorance. We think everything that comes to us is from nothing and that we can control everything, we create everything, we control it, and we make life happen. How do we think then that the world came to be if there's no God? How did this happen? Who came to arrange this? So as much as we think that we know all, we do not. We do not know the meaning of life as we're born into ignorance, and we have to carry out these activities to remember Krishna. And we must come again and again sometimes to learn this lesson. Most of us will come again and again to learn this lesson. So to think that we have learned everything and there is nothing else that we don't know and that we can play God and cannot stop death is actually impossible. So while we do have a lot of scientists and doctors that are working on ways to help with our health while we're here, in the end, we can't stop death. It will happen. It's inevitable. So it's always, you're born, you get old, disease, and eventually you die. It will happen. No one is ever going to stop that. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is Lord Krishna, is the Supreme Controller. He is the one that decides how long we're here for. And while we do have to maintain our body while we're here, we can't ultimately control what will happen. So we're not just this body, we're spirit soul. We will come back again after this life and work towards going back to Godhead. But of course we'll be born in ignorance and we'll need to come to that understanding again that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate controller. We tend to believe things when we respect the authority is something that I've also come to learn. And the authority speaking on these things can sometimes be seen as the Brahmins of Kali Yuga, which is the scientists. So the scientists are looked at as the leading authorities, which really they're not. I mean, they're working on helping us, but you know, they're never going to be able to stop that. The real duty of a Brahmin is to reveal the truth to the world and let everyone know that Krishna is God, Krishna is the supreme controller, and he sits within our heart space and lives within us as Paramatma. But yes, ultimately, we're not this body. Thank you very much. I look very much forward to seeing you again next week. If there's anything I can do to help, if you have any questions, please let me know. I have a few that are backed up, so please don't worry if it takes me a little while to get to yours. But I plan on making a video on each of those so that we can answer all of those questions. Because if you have that question, then others probably do too. My name is Vraja Vilasini. Thank you for joining me. Hare Krishna.